students, I'm Aanchal Sharma, your educator for paper 1. This is the video 2, and in this video, we are going to solve different questions with their concepts. So this is the last lap, the last 30 days where I want you to brush up all your concepts. Let us see the first question that I have for you. So the first question is, what is CBCS? So what is the full form of CBCS? You have to tell me the full form. What does this stand for? Let us see the answer. So the answer is B. That means it is Choice-Based Credit System. CBCS stands for Choice-Based Credit System. So what is Choice-Based Credit System? Choice-based credit system is a way of evaluating and conducting the exams in the universities now. So this is a more better, more learner-centered approach that the University of Delhi, or you can say the other universities, have started. Why is this better? Because this is learner-centered, as I told you. There are different ways in which the examinations are conducted. Now we have the concept of the grade points. Now we have the concept of different electives, and there are different type of courses in it. Now let us see about the further keywords in the CBCS. So the first is academic year. What do you mean by academic year? Academic year is one complete year which has 2 consecutive semesters, one odd and one even. So these 2 consecutive semesters would make one academic year. And in your MA, you have the 2 academic years. That means 4 semesters would be there. In your BA, that was of 3 years, right? So you have what? 6 semesters with you. Then choice-based credit system is actually providing you with the choice to choose and select the prescribed course you want. So there is one course that can be termed as a core course. Then there is some elective courses, or there are some minor courses, and there are some soft skill courses. So why is this initiative taken? This is only taken so that there can be some credit point systems. These credits are transferable, so it is universally acceptable, and also it is very much student centered. And all these soft skill courses, these disciplinary elective, and all these will help you enhance your learning even better. So they don't only want you to study what is written in the books, but the main goal is holistic development. That is why choice-based credit system was introduced. Now the course. So course is usually referred to as papers, is a component of a program. All courses need not carry the same weightage. So whatever courses there are, all the courses are not carrying the same weightage. There are different weightage for each course. The courses should define the learning objectives. What is the learning objective and what is my outcome? What am I studying? Yes, the core subject of a person, say, is English literature, but there can be other discipline elective that I'm going to study. There can be other soft skills that can be taught with it. Other subjects like your GE. Your GE can be economics, can be anything other than your core subject. And of course, the credits for each course would be different. The course may be designed as follows. So it can be lectures, it can be tutorials, it can be laboratories, field work, work only, or it can be outreach, it can be activities, projects, vocational training, viva, semester, term papers, assignments, presentations, and self-study. So all of these combined together can be done in a paper, or it can be in a other criteria as well. So it can be different things. So now what is CBSS? So CBSS is a credit-based semester system. So now we are following a semester system. So whenever you talk to your parents, they must be telling you that we had papers yearly, but now we have papers semester-wise. That means not only in 1 year you will have papers at the end of that year, but you will have paper twice. So Sem 1 you will have the final papers, then Sem 2 you again have the final papers. So under the CBSS, the requirement for rewarding the degree or the diploma or the certificate is prescribed in terms of the number of credits that you have. These credits are the points that you score in your subjects. Now, what is the credit point? So, it is the product of the grade point and the number of credits that you have. So, what is your grade point and how many number of credits that you have? Say the maximum number of credits in a paper, you can have 10, but you scored 6 out of it. So, this is how you calculate the thing in the course. Then, what do you mean by credit? A credit by which it is actually a unit by which the course is measured. So, what is the credit of that course? Maybe my core is English literature. So, the paper, say, post-colonial paper is the core paper that I'm going to study. But discipline elective, that is my GE, say I have taken economics, can have a less weightage as compared to the core papers that I'm doing, right? So, my elective, my general elective can have less number of credits, say 5 for this and 10 for the core paper. So, that depends. It determines the number of hours of instruction and the number of hours the engagement between the student and the teacher is done. So, that is per week it is calculated. 1 credit is equivalent to 1 hour of teaching, lecture or tutorial, whatever you want to call it, or 2 hours of practical work or field work per week. So, they are calculating per week. Then, what do you mean by CGPA? You must have heard this word, CGPA, SGPA. So, what is that? It is cumulative grade point average. That is measured of overall cumulative performance of a student over all semesters. So, your CGPA is for every semester, but your SGPA is for a particular semester. So, as I told you, the number of semesters. So, 1 year will have 2 semesters. At the end of all of the years that you have studied, at the end of all the semesters, each semester and the grade point would be multiplied and then there would be a CGPA, right? So, the CGPA is the ratio of the total credit points secured by the student in various courses in all semester and the sum of the total credits of all the courses in all the semesters. It is expressed till the time of 2 decimal places. One important thing is you calculate it till the 2 decimal places. Like if you have scored 6.88, so that is your CGPA. That is the final grade point that you have. That is the final score in your semester, in your year actually, that you have scored. Then what do you mean by grade point? Grade point, it is a numerical weightage allotted to each letter or letter grade on a 10-point scale. What do you mean by letter grade? It is an index of performance. So this letter grade that they have chosen, it is, these grades are denoted like O, A plus, then B plus, B, C, P and F. F here means fail and AB would mean absent. What do you mean by program? A educational program leading to award a degree, diploma or certificate. You'll call it as a program, right? Then what do you mean by SGPA? So it is semester grade point average and it is measured, it is the measurement of the performance of a work done in a particular semester. So when we talk about a particular year, it is what? It is CGPA. CGPA. While when we talk about one semester, it is SGPA. Now, what do you mean by semester? So each semester consists of about 15 to 18 weeks that you have to go to the college. So that is your semester, your academic work that you have done, equivalent to the 90 actual teaching days. That is your one semester. What do you mean by transcript or grade card or certificate? That is the final mark sheet that you get based on the grades earned. A grade certificate shall be issued to all the registered student after every semester. So after every semester, you have to download your transcript, like your report card. So that would be like, there would be the number of credits that are given, number of credits you have scored, and what all are the courses that you have opted. So there will be the number of courses, there will be the number of credits, there will be the number of credits you have scored, and there would be SGPA that would be calculated. So for each semester, you will have your SGPA, and at the end, you will have your CGPA, which is then equivalent to whatever you are scoring. That means it can be first division, second division, or etc. Right? And what all are the different types of courses that you see? So there are about 3 kinds of courses. There is core, elective, and foundational courses. So what is a core course? There may be a core course in each semester. This is a course which is compulsory for the students to study as a core requirement to complete that subject that you are studying, to complete the program in which you have enrolled. So if I am from English literature background, there are some core papers that I have to give. These are the compulsory papers. Then there are some elective papers. So elective paper is the course which can be chosen from a pool of papers. Now these papers are the supportive papers of the discipline in which I am studying. They are providing an expanded scope to what I am studying, and they are enabling an exposure to some of the discipline domain. And nurturing the students' proficiency and skill are the basic task of an elective course. Then there can be an elective that can be a GE, that means a generic elective focusing on the course which add the generic proficiency to the students. And there can be a discipline elective. That means a elective may be discipline centered. That means it is centered to my discipline, or it may be chosen from an unrelated discipline. So I am from English literature, but my GE can be anything unrelated to English. So it can be economics, it can be accountancy, it can be pol science, something other than what I am studying. It is called as an open elective. Now there are some foundational courses, and these courses are like ability enhancement courses, right? So AEC, and this is again your PYQ. They ask what all are the 2 types of AEC. So these are ability enhancement courses. So they can be ability enhancement compulsory courses. Write down this with me. Ability enhancement compulsory courses, AECC, or it can be skill specific courses, right? So it can be skill. It can be the skill specific courses, right? So ability enhancement courses or skill enhancement course. Now that is up to you which course you want to get, right? So AECC is something other than the courses that you are studying. So say for example EVS, or you can say business communication, are some of the courses that will enhance your skill. So these are called as your AECC course. Now this was the PYQ as I was telling you. So they asked what all are the 2 courses that fall under the ability enhancement course. So you will tick that it would be in ability enhancement compulsory courses that you have to do. There are other soft skills that you can learn. They are called as skill enhancement courses. So the foundational course that can be called as AEC, it is basically of 2 types. There can be compulsory foundation or elective foundation. So compulsory foundation are the courses based upon the content that leads to the knowledge enhancement. They are mandatory for all disciplines. And elective foundation are the courses of value addition, and there can be making a man-making education, right? So these are the different courses. Then you have some grade, and then what is the letter grade that is awarded to it? So there is O. O is outstanding. It is 10 grade point is given to that. So letter grade is 10. Then there is A plus, which stands for excellent. The point is 9 here. Then is A, that is very good. You have the score of 8 here. B plus, that is good. You have the score of 7. Then you have B, that is an average, above average. That means that you will have the grade point of 6. And then there is C, that means average. And you have 5 as the score here. P, that means pass. It stands for 4. And fail, F. And absent, that means you have not appeared for the exam. Then how do you calculate the SGPA and your CGPA. So the UGC has recommended the following procedure to actually compute the each semester grade point. That means your SGPA is calculated and your CGPA is calculated. So SGPA is the ratio of the sum of the number of credits with the grade point scored by a student in all the courses taken by a student and the sum of the number of credits that you have. So course and credit are multiplied. How is it seen? Let me show you the example. Right? And again, I would first read and then I'll show you the example. That would be easy. So here, the C once would stand for the ith course that you have. So CI is what? CI is the number of credits in the ith course. So whatever course we are talking about, and G is the grade point. So this is the formula for that. You don't have to get confused. I will calculate that with you. Then we have the CGPA. It is calculated in the same manner, taking into account all the courses undertaken by the student over all the semesters in the program. And this is again the formula that we have, right? So I will show you how SGPA is calculated and I'll show you how it is done. So the first of all, we have the number of courses or the papers that you have opted. So this is the paper 1, paper 2, or you call it a paper or a course. So there are certain credits. So these are the credits that you are here scoring. So this is credit 3. This course 2 has the credit of 4, credit of 3, 3, 3 and 4. So the total is 20 here. Then there are grade letters awarded to what you have received, and this is a transcript that I'm showing you. So this is A, B plus B and O, and here C and B is here. So O, as I told you, stands for 10. This is how your grade point is decided. Now what is happening? Now how is your credit point calculated? Your credit point is calculated multiplying your credit that you have scored and the grade point. So 3 into 8 is your 24. So this is how that is calculated, and the sum would be 131. Here, what will be the formula? You have to divide 131 with 20 and then you'll get 6.55, and till 2 places you have to calculate it. This is how for each semester you can have your CGPAs, right? And your SGPAs. So your credit point being 20, your SGPA is 6.55. Then you're again for semester 2, semester 3, semester 4 and semester 5 and 6. At the end, what will happen? At the end, you will calculate your CGPA. But what is more important is to calculate your SGPA, and they have asked this in the exam before. Then comes the second question that I have for you. So teaching involves critical and creative interchanges between the teacher and the learner, and hence it is different from instruction and training. So this is the assertion that they have given. Then there is a reason both instruction and training are directed at the lower order cognitive interchanges. So do you think the assertion is right? Reason is right? Reason is correct for assertion? You have to tell me which is the correct option. I would read the statements once again with you. Assertion: teaching involves critical and creative interchanges between teacher and learner. Hence, it is different from instruction and training. Then we have both. The reason is both instruction and training are directed to lower order cognitive interchanges. I'll show you the answer. The answer is A, which means that both A and R are correct, and R is very much the correct explanation for A. Do you think that this is correct? Were you able to mark the right answer? Let us solve this question together. So first of all, what do you mean by teaching? Teaching is basically delivering of knowledge, skill, or you can say whatever you know from a more mature person to a lesser mature person. That is transferring your knowledge, right? So this is when a teacher is teaching the student. And what is the basic aim of a teacher? The basic aim of a teacher is a holistic development. They want that overall growth of a child has to be there. But do you think that teaching is similar to indoctrination? Teaching is similar to training? Teaching is same as mentoring? Teaching is same as training? No. These are all different things. They are somewhat related to teaching, but they are for specific skills, specific timing, specific attitudes. But your teaching is a holistic growth. It is done for the overall enhancement of a child. So teaching, as I told you, is the transfer from a more knowledgeable one to a less knowledgeable one. But the instruction is only giving half knowledge or just telling the student what needs to be done. So if you are learning how to drive a car, then instruction would be given, only done for specific skills, and directly the things are said. But in teaching, we have different levels. So we move from the memory level to the understanding level, then to the reflective level. But in your instruction, only memory level is targeted, because you just give the instruction and then psychomotor domain is used and kinesthetics is used and you will perform that action. When it comes to training, again, only set of skills are targeted on. So you have a training to become, you say you have a training for a particular thing, say training for playing badminton. So this is what? This is just a training that is provided to you to enhance one set of skills. So here only skills are important. But when we talk about teaching, not only skills are important, there is overall development, cognitive mind, you have your affective skills and your psychomotor domain. Each and everything is targeted on. Hence, the reason is very much correct. The instruction and training are targeted on the lower level cognitive interchanges. There is not much knowledge that is passed. And whenever you see the word cognitive, you should know that it is related to knowledge. So whenever you see that it is instruction, only knowledge is given, only what? Only the direct statements are given. So whenever you will open your teaching, open your UGC NET portal, what will you see? There are number of instructions. Or whenever you are trying to give the paper, so this is your first attempt, you're just sitting there and you're reading the instructions that this is how you have to attempt the paper. What is it? It is just telling you what you have to do. This is instruction. Training is just for a set of skills. So this is just a lower level that they are targeting on. So A becomes the correct answer. So what do you mean by training? Training is the act of teaching, or you are actually learning a skill or behavior. So it's a particular skill. While education or while teaching, it is the acquisition of knowledge through a process of receiving. So you give instructions, but overall growth is targeted on. You have training in it, but overall growth is done in teaching. Training is the pursuit of ability. So your ability is enhanced there. You see how better you can perform that skill. But for the pursuit of knowledge, there is always teaching and your education. Then we have another set of question. In which of the level of teaching, seeing of relationship is promoted as an objective? So here you have to read it very carefully. Seeing of relationship is created. There is memory level, understanding level, reflective level and autonomous level. Now I've seen students who would say that autonomous can never be the option. Why? Can never be an answer, because there is no level as autonomous level. But this is the thing that they are losing on. Yes, this is not a level, but this is a level of development. It is not a level of teaching, but a level of development. So it is autonomous level of development. Let me show you the answer. So the answer to this question is B, that is understanding level. And now let us discuss the concept. One thing that I have to tell you, that UGC will definitely ask you questions from this topic. So this seems to be an easy topic, but there can be different types of combinations, different type of questions made out of this topic, and this is very important, right? So you should know that what do you mean by memory level, what is understanding, what is reflective, and what is the autonomous level of development. So initially, we only discussed about the memory, understanding and reflective level, but it is Maurice L. Biggie who talked about that no, there is always a teaching learning continuum, and this continuum was given by him only. He said that there is an autonomous development, and in this development, you are very ego-centered. You are fully dependent on your parent. You will do a lot of mistakes and you will learn through it. So this is autonomous level of development. This is here you are fully dependent on your parents. Then you have the memory level. In the memory level, you'll gain the facts. Your teacher is the one who is telling you facts, who is telling you, giving you all the information, and you're just grasping it. So you're not understanding it, you're just grasping the knowledge. At the understanding level, where the teacher and the student both would interact with one another, you will see that there are some relationships that you will create between the things which you have learned. So according to Morris, he said that there is memory level, then you become thoughtful. So understanding level is your thoughtfulness, and you become the most thoughtful when we talk about the reflective level. As the name itself says, you are reflecting on a certain thing that you have learned. That means you can only reflect on a thing when you have retained the memory, when you have understood the relationship, then only you can use it in your personal life. So what is basically one word that you can use for the memory level? The memory level is here cramming is done. So whenever you see the word cramming, rote learning, or just facts and figures, that is the memory level. At this level, the characteristics are also important. At this level, the teacher is at the center. The students are just learning what the teacher is saying. So it is mostly the disciplines, whatever to teach, how to teach, that is teacher-centered. Teacher is the one who is at the power. So it can be a lecture mode, that can be targeting on the memory level. Then we have the understanding level. The understanding level, you try to understand, you try to comprehend things. That is basically the word. When you comprehend things, when you understand, when you seek a relationship, so you understood the different alphabets, but you understood how to use those alphabets. That is how to read that this is a cat, this is a bat, a rat. So all these things are in the understanding level. Then comes the problem solving method. That is the reflective level. So this is the problem solving age. So here you solve the problem. Here heuristic learning is done. Again a PYQ. Who talked about heuristic learning? It is Armstrong who talked about heuristic learning. This is again your PYQ. They asked who is the proponent of heuristic learning. They have also asked that who is the proponent of memory level, of understanding level, and of reflective level. I'll tell you one, and I want you to write this in the comment section. I want you to search this yourself, that it is Hunt who talked about reflective level. Now you have to tell me, is it Morrison or it is Herbert who talked about memory level or understanding level? So two names and two levels. Who talked about memory, Morrison or Herbert? Who talked about understanding, Morrison or Herbert? Right, so you have two options and two levels. So you have to tell me the proponents. But I'll tell you one that is important. It is Hunt. It is Hunt who talked about the reflective level. Right, now let us read this once. So understanding level of teaching is more deliberate teaching method in which the students connect with the concept, and there are some names they imply, and there is comprehension of the material that you have done. The teachers teach the students at three levels. At understanding level of teaching, they examine the concepts, they put together the facts, they put together the concepts they have learned, and based on it, the students' prior knowledge and new knowledge are added. Right? This is how the knowledge is actually enhanced. So teachers and students both are equally active in this process, and in this teaching level, teachers use discussion, teachers use lectures, teachers use explanations, right? So that comprehension can be done. The classroom atmosphere is very welcoming and stimulating, so that students would participate. Probing is done, stimulation is always there. The teacher's role is more active at the understanding stage, because they are taking initiative to make you learn things. At this level, new knowledge that you have learned is put together with already learned knowledge. A generalization of a concept is done. You understand, you come to a conclusion. You come to a generalization that is established based on the facts that you gain in the memory level and the new situations that you will be tackling in your reflective level, in your heuristic level, that it is a level where you are doing things on your own, a problem solving level. Then these new situations can be applied, right? So the pupils would have a complete control on the topic they are doing. Therefore, understanding level of teaching is here seeking of or seeing of relationship that is created. Now again another question, gaining of indirect teaching strategies. From this, identify the indirect teaching strategies from the following list. You have to identify which is the indirect teaching strategy. Now I'll tell you one approach through which a lot of students solved this question when it was asked, but I'll also tell you some easy things. So we'll just read the statements and then also the answer can be achieved, and you can also use a different kind of approach. So gaining attention, informing the learners of the objective and presenting the stimulus material, or concept building through examples and non-examples, explaining, exemplification and practice, problem-based representation with pair-share technique, engaging the students to use references from their own experiences. And we are talking about indirect teaching. So indirect teaching, what is teacher targeting on? Teacher said that there should be a convergent type of thinking. I'll tell you what I want. But in divergent thinking, in indirect type of thinking, she'll just not directly tell you what is to be done. She'll teach you with the help of examples. So let me show you the correct answer. The correct answer is A. That means B, C, B, D and E. So B, D and E. Now let us read all the statements again. Gaining attention, informing the learners of the objective. Do you think this is an indirect approach? You are just directly telling the students what you have to do. So that means gaining attention can never be there. Also, gaining attention is what problem solving. So you are here, you are gaining attention of a student, you are telling them about the rule learning, you are telling them about the concept learning, what you are doing. So that means it is the cognitive aspect. You are at a higher level of learning. You are gaining the attention. So Gagne also said that gaining attention is the first level of instruction. At the first level, you gain the attention of a child. So here, this means that gaining attention can never be that option. Also, by just reading, with just using the presence of mind, you can see that gaining attention or informing the learners of the objective is the first thing that the teacher would do in the direct teaching method. So A will definitely not be the answer. So wherever you find A, strike it out. Then B, concept building through examples. This is exactly what the teacher does in divergent thinking, right? This is what they are trying to probe you, giving examples, non-examples, and teaching you how the things are done. That means this is an indirect method. So B will definitely be here. Which is the option where B is not there? Again, we are just left with two options and there are three statements to be read. So we are going good. Now explaining, exemplification and doing practice. This is a very direct approach. Practicing, explanation is a direct approach. So C will not be the answer. So you already got your answer, but let us read the other two. Problem-based presentation with paired share techniques. So when you are doing a problem-based presentation or representation, you are teaching the students heuristic learning. You are telling them how you can solve the problem. You are at the reflective level. That means it is an indirect approach. The teacher acts as a facilitator and not at the center. That means D is the right answer here. D is included. Then E, encouraging the students to use different references from their own experiences. And learning from experiences is like examples only, and you're learning in the paired share technique. So you are learning in a indirect manner. So E would be there. Now this is something Gagne has given. So this is Gagne's hierarchy of learning. There are some of the instructions that Gagne talked about, and you have to read that as well because UGC has asked questions from it, And also they have asked questions from directly this the cone structure that I have for you. So this triangle is so important for you to learn. They are the ways in which hierarchical learning is done. So you start from the lowest level. This is the lowest level where behavioral aspects are seen. So by just changing your behavior, you will move further, and then your cognitive aspects would be actually changed. So gaining attention is the first instruction that Gagne talked about. Read about the 9 instructions of Gagne. This is your homework. They have asked this, and also this gaining attention is the first instruction that Gagne talked about. That means it is direct. But here look at the Gagne's hierarchy of learning. First of all, there is a signal learning. You see a signal, you start to learn things. Then there is a stimulus response. You get a good response, you keep on doing things. There is a chaining effect. You have the new knowledge, previous knowledge, and then you keep on learning things. So you understood about one concept, and from that concept, multiple things would pop up. That is a chaining effect. Verbal association. You will associate words. Okay, maybe I've heard this word here, so this can be the meaning of this word. This is verbal associations. You understand them. Then you have multiple discrimination. You keep on distinguishing things. The more you get to know about a particular thing, the better you will distinguish between them. Then comes the higher order learning, that is the concept learning. You understand the complete concept. You understand the complete rule. You understand how to solve the particular question. Also, you understand what is problem solving. So this is the highest cognitive aspect you can reach, right? So this is what we had for today's class, and I hope things were clear. So these were the number of questions, but what is more important? So the most important thing that we did is this thing. So I want you again to tell me who is the one who talked about memory level, who is the one who talked about understanding level. You have to read the 9 instructions of Gagne. These are the 2 things that are your homework, and write it in the comment section, and I'll read it surely. Then we discussed about what is autonomous level, what is memory level, what is understanding, and what is reflective. Each year I have seen questions being put up from this topic. That is why it is very important, and explicitly learn about each and every you can say the domain, or you can say the learning level. So these 3 levels are important, and this one continuum that we have. All of these things are important, right? So thank you so much for being there with me and taking part in this initiative that we have taken. Each day I will come here and we will solve these type of questions so that the basic concepts are clear and my students can clear the exam in one go. Thank you so much.